Hello everybody, I'm Jennifer Grace, and this is just a little video to show you my book that I've made for the Learn Something New Everyday class that is starting on the 1st of September on www.shamel.com. I've made myself a kind of counterfeit smash book, and I started by cutting up an old Ladybird book, cut the covers off and cut the pages out. Now this book had been quite bashed around and it was all ripped up on the front and the back cover, so I've covered up the places where it was most damaged. There's a big rip down the front here, so I've covered that up with a bit of lace edging from haberdashery, and at the top it had been scribbled on where the title was, so I've covered that up with my own titles, which has been stamped with Studio DG stamps like these ones, onto scraps of paper. And the only bit that isn't stamped is this little 2011 down here, which I cut off the front of a magazine because I didn't have any little number stamps or stickers. I also, on the back cover, covered up the most ripped bit with this little fabric strip that was sent to me by Julie Kirk, so thanks Julie. And I just stuck a journaling block on the back cover as well, which I'm going to use to write a kind of blurb of some of the lessons that I've learnt at the end of the course. So I've also got this ribbon twine from the Ribbon Girl. It's called ML twine, and I've just used that to kind of tie around the book to hold it all together when I'm sticking it in my handbag or whatever. I've got a couple of beads on the end, and you just unwind it from around the button. The button I attached by using a paper piercer, this one here, just to pierce the holes through the cover in the right place, and then I just sewed it on with upholstery thread to make sure it's nice and strong. Also, I just forgot to mention, on the covers I just painted this blue acrylic strip down on the front and the back cover, also to cover up some of the damaged area, but to give it a bit of a kind of bound edged look to the book as well. So inside I've got some pages that were from the original Ladybird book, the ones that I kind of think they might look like they're learning some lessons, as that's what the class is about. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to cover up the words that are on the back of those pages or not, so I'll see how I feel. The majority of the pages are made up with craft paper, which I bought from Paper Chase, and I had to cut it down a little bit so that it fitted into the cover size of the Ladybird book. I've used book rings to bind it all together so that I can swap the pages about, because I've stamped on each page, and I want to be able to kind of go through the book on the day and choose the stamp that kind of fits the lesson that I want to write about that day. So I'm going to kind of write them down, not in order, but then I can move them about because it's got book rings on it. Some of my stamping's not brilliant, so you can probably see there's a bit of a shadow there, but I'm kind of not worried about that too much because I've got a 7-week-old baby at the moment, so I don't have time to worry about doing it too neatly, and also it's a smash book for sticking things and jotting notes in, so it doesn't have to be too neat and perfect. I've got a paper doily in there just to give it a bit of a different shape. I've used all kinds of different stamps. I tried not to repeat them too much, and obviously I've got these sort of scraps of patterned paper which I've cut down to size as well, scrapbook paper, because it gives it book a bit of colour, and some journaling blocks these are as well. All kinds of different colours in here. I had fun using some of the stamps that I don't use very much on my projects, but that I really like, so it's quite nice to be able to put them in here just for a bit of decoration, so that the book's kind of ready pretty, so that I can just jot notes on pages if I don't have time to do any more to them on the day. Some of the papers I can't jot straight onto them. I will be either sticking a journaling block onto them or just sticking bits from magazines, newspapers, tickets, things like that can stick onto these pages. Some of them I will just jot onto them where there is space. This was a castle I'd cut out of this paper ages ago for a card, and it's been hanging around in my stash. I thought it was a nice little peephole to put it in here. A bit of a different page shape. This is the last page, was actually the last page of the Ladybird book, and I'm going to definitely keep the writing on the back of this one because it's got to this very happy end as a kind of nice way to finish the book off, so I'll definitely be leaving that. Okay, and then this is my back page, which has got all my bits to kind of help me create the book. So you can see here that I've attached this pen. This is my favourite pen for journaling and ink drawing, size fine. I've just attached that by sewing on a bit of elastic, the same way as I did on the front. I just pierced the holes with a paper piercer and then sewed it on with the upholstery thread. You can also see here how I attached the twine to the back just by piercing 2 holes and then tying a knot in the end of the twine. Also on the twine I have Mod Podged the ends of the twine so that they don't fray anymore. I just put a little bit of Mod Podge on my fingers and then twiddled it around the ends of the twine to stop it fraying, and also to make it into a point so it's easier to push it through the holes that pierced and the holes on the beads. I also stopped the elastic from fraying just by burning it slightly with a match, also to keep it nice. In the back pocket that I've stuck on here, I just stuck this down with double-sided tape on the 3 sides, extra strong double-sided tape. I've got in here some DIY decorative tape, which was an idea from Kirsty Neal. I wrote about it before on my blog, that she'd first blogged about doing it with security envelopes, the kind of your bills come in the post, so I'd made some of that, but I've also made this other tape as well now with matte paper, because she did another post which suggested using other things. I've done some matte paper ones, some book paper ones and mulberry paper ones, so I've got some pretty tape to stick things straight into my book, some colourful paper clips to just attach some things in, because I'm not actually keeping any glue with the book. I don't have a glue pen and a glue stick was too bulky to attach, so I've just got these bits to stick things in straight away if I want to, and then when I'm at home I can stick things in with glue as well if I want to. And then inside this airmail envelope, which I just glued onto the back of a bit of craft paper, I've cut a slit down here just so that the envelope can stay shut while it's being moved about. And in here I've got a selection of journaling spots and tags that I can write on and stick into the book. And then at the end I've just got these DIY page markers which I made. They say cool, awesome and love it, so just use scraps of paper, and I've made them to page markers by they've got putting a glue dot on the end. They've got a glue dot on there, you just about see probably, but it's still got the plastic over the top of it that came with the glue dot on a roll. It was a stick it packet of glue dots, so they already had this plastic bit on so that they won't stick to this paper, but I've stuck a bit of blue tack on just to hold them on this paper until I need them to keep them all safe, and then I can just stick them onto my pages when I'm ready to. So there we go, that is my book for Learn Something New Every Day. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at it, and I hope you'll visit my blog www.jennifersjumbles.blogspot.com to see me fill it up during September 2011. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.